What's up, gibberers and gibberettes? Welcome back to another review show uh, of a week that has gone to Supercoach shit. What an absolute bludger it was last night, especially to all those that Captain Walsh for a famous 38. Let's get into the games, starting firstly with the Saints and Cows. Listen, I know that people say that 50 conceding 50s are fading, but to me, losing 32 zip at home is just as bad. I think that early on, pretty kind of close game. Drinky then kicks an outside of the boot, 40-20, 12 minutes in, left foot on the left side, just beautiful stuff. And then that went into a 2-on-2 try, just broke straight past Sully and wasn't a great early sign. The game was actually only 4-0 at the 30-minute mark, and I thought there was a interesting turning point where Saints made a half break down the left. Then on the same play, it goes back to the right. It's a 4-on-2. Like Cook did really well to get the ball out to Atkinson. And even though it was 4-on-2, he kicked it. He kicked it on like the third tackle, straight to Drinky. Off the ensuing set, Purdue and Clifford then did a nice little runaround play in the middle of the ruck. Purdue goes through, scores a try, and it's all over from there. I think they scored another one before halftime. Yeah, this is rock bottom for the Saints. Watching the post-game presser, Flano looked like a dead set, dead man walking. That is going to mean that the next 3 weeks they play Manly, South, Chooks. So yeah, load up on those players. I thought Atco really struggled last night with his kicking game. I think there was kicked it dead 3 times. Let alone that one I just mentioned before with the Drinky. Then he's doing like shallow chips across field, and yeah, really grim stuff. A lot of responsibility on him now, obviously that Kyle's out and King Tonga doesn't seem to be able to find a kick. On the Cows side, I think they're adjusting to the new rules really well after a pretty slow start. They're getting their fast fellas up around the middle of the ruck a lot more. I thought they were kind of unlucky in Vegas against the Knights. Like it was 3 tries off kicks, whatever, but then, obviously get pumped by West. But yeah, they're building momentum pretty nicely, the Cows, and that was a really solid road win for them last night. Getting into the scores, the top scorer of the game was Jake Clifford with a 125, guys. It was 59 in base power for Clifford. A try, 2 try assists and 4 goals. He is now averaging 82 for the season. Real big body for a 5'8". They used him in that wraparound shape, as we mentioned before. And then the try he scored, it was a dead set crash play off Taumalolo. A nice little tip on from a prop to a 5'8", which is kind of rare. He's going to go up 100K to 686 grand with a 5 break even versus the Broncos. I don't know how many people are going to be clamoring to trade Clifford in at that price, but he's proven that, he's going to be up in the conversation of top 5'8s. And once again, 5'8", being a slept-on position. We've seen Tricky, Cody, Luai, et al., Purdue obviously ton up in that position. So that second slot is going to become really valuable once Pezzett kind of peaks. In terms of who else scored a ton, Jackson Purdue with a 108. That involved a double, a try assist, and 40 in base power. That is now his second ton of the season, guys. He now averages over 80. Yeah, look, I really love watching this guy play. I remember his debut, actually. It was against the Chooks in 2024 during a bye round, and he was like 18. Obviously, he's still a fairly skinny fella, but he was a stick then, and he just looked awesome. Like the way he was moving in that game on debut, really confidently. Thought Payton's comments in the presser were really interesting, essentially saying that he's their most versatile guy. They can plug him in at any position in the back line. Not the wing just yet. Apparently, he'd need 4 training sessions to get the reps in. But, yeah, he looks awesome. I wonder if he might be a little bit of a smoky for Queensland this year. He'll be 715K, and he's made 150 grand so far, averaging over 80. Purdue was absolutely the correct starting option. So congratulations to those that did that. Scotty Drinkwater, a try. He got 88. A try, a 40-20, that beautiful 40-20 outside the left boot that we mentioned before, and 2 line break assists. Yeah, he's got such a deep, deep bag, doesn't he? Drinky, kick, pass, run threat, awesome support player. He's going to be low 700s and 4% owned. Now, while she goes down last night, is Drinkwater a potential replacement? You know, Payton in the press conference last night said that he'd resumed full contract training this week. So that's one to monitor. He doesn't really look inhibited by the rib, but the goal kick is not there. It's going to Clifford, and Clifford's not hitting him too badly apart from last week. Nonetheless, probably a decent little sideways trade at low ownership from Walsh. Luciano Leilua with the 81, 71 in base power. Just wanted to read these stats out. 20 runs for 241 meters and 34 tackles for Luch last night. He's gone really well this year, super coach wise. I think he's now averaging well over 60. That is the definition of a contract year stat line, though, isn't it? Hillam Lukey, 75, 65 in base power. Thought he was unlucky not to score a couple of times. Got held up over the line. They tried to get him one-on-one with little contact Tongia, but it just didn't work out. He should peak at around 600K in 3 weeks. Yeah, if you're an owner, you'd love another try just so he then gets on the road to 650, 700 even. But I'd say even when he does peak, like he's probably doing enough of a job base power-wise to justify a hold anyway. You know, if he's giving you that 55 to 65, you know, on a weekly basis, that's sweet. Let's lock away the key. Wait for a. He's already proven he's got that high ceiling anyway with his try scoring. So yeah, he's looking like a dead set long-term hold, and you can just focus on targeting other positions. Tommy Chester, 74, 64 in base power. Wow. Watching him closely yesterday, the guy is just so hungry for seed, guys. He's got a base power average this year of 54 so far, which is very elite. Herbie is the best in the game center wing wise. He's at 66 per game, but he's also, you know, 600 grand more expensive. So yeah, Chester looks like he's going to be a real long-term hold and a safe play every week, to be honest. If you don't have him, he'll be 350K with a 14 break even. Good score next week. Then puts him in negative break even. So if you haven't got on him, if you traded him out, whatever, bring him back in. He's got the job security and he's an absolute goer, man. Really good to watch. Couple of half breaks yesterday as well. That very easily could have been a ton. 2 more guys to have a look at from the Saints side of things. Toby Couchman, 67 points in 59 minutes. He started on the bench yesterday and came on and played those 59 minutes straight. He's going to bottom out in price next week at 538K. He's 100 to 150K unders based on his historical averages when he plays those minutes. Look, he doesn't have as much upside as, say, a Tallis Duncan at the same price point, but yeah, there's absolutely merit given what he can do. You know, you've got 4 immobile older forwards in Gula, Laurie, Sele, Kerr in the middle there. So you'd have to think the lion's share of minutes goes towards Toby, at least before brother Ryan returns. But yeah, pretty grim pickings for the Saints in the front row rotation. But Toby's great. Also a shout out to Hamish Stewart, who's an absolute goer. He's just Isaiah Yeo Jr., isn't he? He's going to be really, really relevant in Supercoach for a while once he starts to build up to that 80-minute role. He seems to be capped around 60 at the moment. But again, he's not letting anyone down if you started with him either. And the last guy is Valentine Holmes with a 30. Barely cited yesterday, Val. I thought that probably could have been a lot more. Could it have been a ton? That's probably a stretch, but I'll give you 3 exhibits. Exhibit A was there was a tap-on play to Farley that was in good shape. The winger jammed in. He butchered that, tapped it into row 3. Then there was that 4-on-2 play that we mentioned before with Atco. Just had to put it through the hands. Val had his hand up. That was on. And then off a scrum play in the second half, I think, Val played it. He tried to do that little kind of wraparound shape. Little contact Tongia just absolutely cooked the pass, threw it straight to Braden Burns, and he went and scored a a 90-meter intercept try. Yeah, really weird year for Val so far. I thought he kind of looked a bit physically unders in Vegas. Then he scores a double versus Melbourne. Then against Para, he's on 70 at half time, makes 5 errors or something in the second half, finishes on 80. And then last week, a 75 versus the Gold Coast Titans. So, yeah, I think with Val, everyone's happy. Another case of everyone's happy so far. If you started with him, yeah, he's been going all right. Like, you're getting what you paid for. Obviously, last night was an abomination. But if you didn't have him, you're laughing because he hasn't really hurt you. And he's now going to start tumbling down in price and be pretty ripe for the picking. If you do have him and you're thinking of selling him, I completely understand. The Dragons look dog shit. However, I'll just give you this little stat. Over the last, since the start of 2023, so 3 years or whatever, Val has scored 50 or less 7 times. Okay, so not terrible. However, in the game after that, in the game after he goes sub 50, he averages 88. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. Just quickly throw it over to the comments here, guys. 1 second. Kingslayer chimes in. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, gibbers. Yes, sir. I hope that you get a few eggs under the Christmas tree or a few Kinder Surprises in the fridge. Purdue fire emoji. Yeah, man. Fucking awesome. I mean, there was a play last week. Was it last week? 2 weeks ago when they played the Titans. I don't think it led to a try or anything, but he got the ball kind of flat-footed, big left foot step, inside, absolute jet boots in his boots. And yeah, he's got a little moments like that where you're just like, oh, this is a beautiful athlete. The guy's agile, fast, rangy, if you will. It's going to be really interesting to watch his career, especially once he puts on like 5 or 10 more kilos. And then, yeah, Helam Luki at running at Ezra next week. Mate, Luki's a dead set hold. I think that those who started with him are going to be able to ride him out the rest of the year, just given that base power is great. And again, as you alluded to just there, like the upside certainly be able to be realized. The second game, guys, was an absolute bludger from a Supercoach perspective. The Broncos playing at the Gold Coast. Excuse me. A little bit of hay fever here at Tanny's Late Mail HQ this morning. Full house at the Titans Stadium, which I reckon is the first time that's happened in a long time. I love the Broncos kit. I really like that away kit. Nice little throwback to the 2006 era. Reynolds goes off early in the first half. Us Welsh owners, man, we're daring to dream. We're daring to dream. He's got the goal kicking. He averages 110 when Reynolds doesn't play. But then it all went to shit a few moments later. Yeah, listen, bit of a poo slinger this one once it started raining. The Titans' attack is just woeful. It's been terrible to watch this year, last couple of weeks especially. The Broncos' goal line D just continues to hold up. They've done that now 3 weeks in a row. Ilias, he remains the toughest watch in the league. I thought once Walsh went off, the Broncos kind of just tucked it under. Ezra came up with a couple of big plays. Their edges came up with a couple of nice moments. They got the job done. But yeah, it was a dead set bludger of a Supercoach game, man. Only 6 scores over 70. And none of them were really overly Supercoach relevant. So we'll just we'll start at the top. Reece Walsh, 38 points. That early kick, the old Gary Owen, the up and under, that's actually something we've seen teams do on Kinney a bit this year to a bit of success. Like Hammer scored a try on him in round 3. I'd love to see a few more halves do that towards Kinney or just generally like attack the fullback rather than kind of kick it into the corner. Nonetheless, with Walsh, 38, then he does that glorious kick return, which I went back and watched, and it would have been a 35-point play, guys, including the goal kick. Did he actually even step out? I mean, you see a couple angles from it. Maybe it's just like Walsh tinted glasses, but I don't know, man. Like, what was the touch even yelling about? What was he saying? Was he saying, go Reece? Go Reece? Bizarre stuff. And then he puts his flag up. Freaking almost looked like it was after the fact. Obstructed view. I don't know. I mean, if they reviewed it, went upstairs, it's probably going to get called back anyway. But I was probably happy with either decision. Then obviously a couple minutes later, he then fractures the old cheekbone there which is the second time he's done that, according to NRL Physio. He missed 3 weeks the first time he did it, and then 2 weeks the next time he did it. Is he a hold? I mean, one to think about, because it's only 2 to 3 weeks. Do you want to get him back in? I probably have to have a look at their draw, but yeah, it's not going to be like 6-week wipeout. So he's not an auto sell, but you'd probably lean towards getting rid of him. And then, obviously, 50% captain Reece Walsh in the top 10%. Listen, as someone who captained David Fifita to a 42 the day before, let me tell you guys, hey, it happens. It happens. And there's still like 3 games to go. So it'll all turn around quickly. The good news for all of us who had a shit captaincy score is it's a low scoring week generally. It would have been lovely to be able to make up ground like those who vice captained or captain Nath. Shout out to you. You're going to be shooting up the rankings. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. All pumped up at Tell Us How with a 57 all in base power. So him, Finafiliaki, and Joe Chan all doing mid-50s base power without any attack this week. Yeah, I thought Arama was very close to scoring in the first half. He was held up by Ezra over the line, and he just generally looks a lot more confident. The try he scored last week, the second one especially, steps inside Gutho, then does the old, like he's a religious symbol in Rio de Janeiro, at the top of a hill as he goes over the line. There's something in that. I think that gave him a little bit of an extra kick. He's going to have a negative break even next week, but another 55 means his break even will be 60 when they play away at New Zealand, suggesting that he's potentially peaked. Then they have a bye after that. So is he a sell? Excuse me, we have hay fever deluxe. Is he a sell? At FRF, I'm happy to hold. There's no one really knocking the door down, especially with the next guy we'll speak about here. And we've already seen the upside there. Like, okay, if he gives me a try, every second or third week, that's fine. That means he's going to be a high 60s averaging player. So you can probably kind of worry about upgrading him a bit later in the year, I reckon. Payne Haas, 47 points in 56 minutes last night. Yeah, just shout out to me for my comment in the Gibbers the other day in a vegan cigarette haze, calling this getting low minutes on return from injury. The year of the front row was 2025, guys. None of them have been overly relevant this year, aside from Jackson Ford, who, shock horror, he's scoring tries. I think it's just a matter of getting 2 RFs into the FRF ASAP. There's not a lot of them. It's basically just IPAP and all pumped up to Tell Us How. But yeah, I dead set see that being the solution, especially with guys like Keon regressing, Terrell May regressing. Payne Haas's PPM just continues to go in a free fall compared to last year. Yeah, if you held him the last couple of weeks and played him last night, you are dead set spewing. It's you'd be filthy, but that's the way it goes, I guess. I think that he's got 130 break even next week. Yeah, even with 370s, guys, is going to be sub 700 grand by round 9. Do you sell Haas? You have to sell Haas if you own him. There's just too much equity in that price that can then be spent elsewhere chasing Panthers players. He's a dead set sell. Beau Fermor, 65. He will be 568K next week and bottomed out. The reason I bring him up is he hasn't scored a try this year, and he averages 67 when he plays on the edge in his career. So that would mean that he's like 120 grand unders. Is he going to score a try, though? I mean, he's got fucking Lockie Ilias feeding him dog shit, so I doubt it. But one to monitor would be lovely if he had his little center wing duel like he did last year. But he's a guy that can kind of go on a bit of a try scoring run. So one to watch. Tino, 60 and 49 minutes, including an offload and a line break assist. Tino Truthers rise. He is going to be 530K next week, Tino, with a 65 break even. They play Para and then the Wires, and they have a bye. Yeah, I think it's fine to reassess after the bye. It's all minutes based with Tino. That's not breaking news to anybody, but yeah, he averages 74 in 61 minutes last year. But he's averaging 45 minutes this year. Hence why he's in absolute free fall from a Supercoach price perspective. And another guy who's not in free fall, but he's not going anywhere anytime soon is Keanu Kinney. He pumped out a 45, made a really nice line break off a play the ball. And you're thinking, fucking hell, this is it. This is it. Finds Curtis Morin inside. Morin gets tackled. Morin plays the ball. Kinney goes dummy half, drops it. And you're like, that sums it up, doesn't it? The combo with JC and Ilias doesn't really seem to be clicking yet. Kinney tries hard in that Sua Fa'alongo type mold. Like, he's everywhere, but unlike Fa'alongo, he's nowhere at the same time because the halves can't really find him. JC, great runner of the game, great runner of the ball, rather. He's happy to kind of tuck it and try and spot a gap. And Kinney's kind of out the back of shape, doesn't get found a lot. And then, I don't trust Ilias to do anything good anytime soon. If you have him currently, Kinney and Walsh, what do? I mean, fuck, you got to sell at least one of them. I'd probably say Kinney's the hold, given they play Para, who has the worst D in the comp. But yeah, that is some proper head noise for owners there. Mate, yeah, just Kingslayer chimed in and said thoughts on Kinney. Reese, write it out. I think you got to give him one more week. I mean, some were saying that last week, but they play Para. What's the end game? Do you just fuck, man? It's a great question. It's a really good question. I would say, probably play him for the Para game, especially if you hold Walsh, and then just see what happens after that. You'd have to have a look at all the other options and whatever. Sorry, I haven't given you a really good answer there, but I'm just happy that I got rid of him last week, to be honest, to toot my own horn. Looking ahead to the games today, we have, let me pull it up here. I don't know if you guys can see that on the right. Yeah, we've got Newey are playing Canberra, and then that's it. Is that it? No, Sharks are playing the Wars. That's at Cronulla Stadium. For me, who have I got here? I've got Fletch, I've got Noah, I've got Nico, Simis. Oh, Simis Sasangi's playing today. Hectic. Can't wait to watch that. Yeah, there's a little bit of water under the bridge to go this round so far, guys. I mean, just looking around the leagues, there's a few that have had almost their full complement play. 13, 15, 16 there. There's still a few with a few in the chamber. No one's really got a captain left yet. So apart from Jerome and Empire, coached by Anthony, whipping home Adam Dewey on Easter Monday. Good luck to you, brother. So yeah, that just about does us for the stream, guys. Kingslayer, agree. Walsh to go. Kinney stays. He's not losing money. He's not losing money, mate, but he's not making money anytime soon either. And neither will we make money anytime soon when AI takes our jobs in a matter of months. See you later. I'll catch you on the stream probably tomorrow morning.